So we've discussed variable, right? So a variable is something that holds information, right? We have var, which is the old pre-ES6 version that I don't use anymore unless it's old code. Lets, where it lets you change the variable. Globally constant. Again, constant is a variable that stays the same. And we're using the example time capsule, because if you put stuff in an airtight time capsule and you bury it, the items in there are more likely going to stay the same. They're not going to change. You could dig it out, put it somewhere, move it in the house. You can move it over here. You could put it in another location. But all the stuff inside the time capsule, it stays the same. And it's constant. Constant. It constantly, oh, hang on, sorry. Constantly stays the same. I guess what I'll do, I need to explain this, is if you want to write notes in your code, which is really helpful, which I do a lot, you can either use the backstrokes, I think they're called, what are they called? Or slash. You can use the backslash and you can type some stuff. So you can do backslash, these are amazing notes. But when you enter, it's creating some code. These are notes. It's gonna read. It's your computer's gonna, or it's gonna read that code. You don't want it to read it. So to have continuous notes, you can do backslash and asterisk or star. You can do backslash star star, and then you can say these are continuous notes. These are really helpful because it's automatically, every time you press enter, you can keep writing your notes. So writing notes is very, 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 very important. So not just for you as someone who's learning, but for you, for somebody who is, if you're writing code and working on a project, and somebody who's not maybe familiar with maybe code or that form of code, or they need to understand, what are you doing in the code? What is this for? How does this work? The more you can describe what it is, what it does, and its functionality, the more you'll learn how to communicate what your code does. You need to know what your code does and be able to communicate and express how it works.